thank you, Ji-Hyun, for inviting me. So my research is not really based on this kind of concept. I work more on the technical side, and now this is me getting a chance to bring more culture into my work and the ideas. So when Ji-Hyun first mentioned that we were going to do another cultural DNA and she was going to invite us, I thought this idea of like bringing the robot to work would be a really cool idea, kind of like bring your daughter to work or bring your own device to work kind of thing. So I looked it up, and then it turns out a lot of people thought this was a good idea. Like Forbes wrote articles, and since 2012 we've been talking about this idea. So I changed it to a universal basic robot, which is a little bit more contemporary because Finland is now implementing a universal basic income, and I'm thinking it from the side of what if, on my side of robotics, we could actually add a different perspective. And then December 22nd, the White House came out against the universal basic income, so I felt it might be a good idea if I could propose to them a robot instead. In essence, the universal basic income is the unconditional income above the poverty line for all members of this society, right? And my idea would just be an unconditional robot. So I got to this idea because a lot of my work is in human factors and like navigation, accessibility for disabilities, how we analyze people in space and how we can afford space to be designed for them, as well as doing a lot of robotic construction and manufacturing. So at Acadia, I was presenting this kind of humanoid tiling robot, and I had known people from Michigan, and Michigan's also a big auto industry, and unknowingly I was explaining my research in kind of automation and construction, and it turned into the person I was talking to, her father lost his job at Ford because they replaced him with a robot, and she also reduced her salary because of a robot. And we started getting into this idea of how you can stop society from being so afraid of it and maybe kind of embrace the benefits and more understand the realities. So I put my dual affiliation because this was most of the work. I just started at GIT, and I've been working in Suwon as a research scientist for the last couple of years. And this is one of the robots I was designed to build full-scale humanoid legs, and the upper body's coming out. So this robot performs at least as good and better than most of the robots at the DARPA Robotics Challenge. The lab I work with was in the DARPA Robotics Challenge, and we built this as like a higher-end version of what they had. So,
to my grandmother, the washing machine was a miracle.
This idea of robotics is more than just humanoid robots and leg robots.
People are using so many different machines. Look, the homes are full of machines. I can't even name them all. You know? And they also, when they want to travel, they use flying machines that can take them to remote destinations. And yet in the world, there are so many people who still heat the water on fire, and they cook their food on fire. Sometimes they don't even have enough food. And they live below the poverty line. There are 2 billion fellow human beings who live on less than $2 a day. And the richest people over there, there's 1 billion people, and they live above what I call the airline. Because they have spent more than $80 a day, you know, on their consumption. But this is just 1, 2, 3 billion people, and obviously there are 7 billion people in the world, so there must be 1, 2, 3, 4 billion people more who live in between the poverty line and the airline. They have electricity. But the question is, how many have washing machines? I've done a scrutiny on market data, and I found that indeed the washing machine has penetrated below the airline, and today there's an additional 1 billion people up there who live above the wash line.
So I only show this because I think the way he's explaining it is about the ability to move from fire and using electricity and then getting gadgets and being able to use these gadgets for productivity, like the washing machine. You now have more time for things. And he also explains, Hans Rosen is also explaining about the airplane, and now you can travel and all these things. And it's the same thing we talked about with cars when they were first around. As soon as we got cars, we could now get to work faster, right? But we didn't really get to work faster, we just had suburban sprawl. We moved away so that using the same amount of time to get to work, you could travel a farther distance, right? And just another short clip of him, because he explains better than I can anyway.
The magic.
The magic of the washing machine.
Explain the magic to this machine. The very, very first day, she said, now on. We have loaded the longer. The machine Children's book.
So I think this idea of what we can get with the gadgets is that we have more time to do something. And I think this idea of time with the gadgets, whether it's the washing machine or the vacuum cleaner, which then turned into like a Roomba, we have the electric stove, then we have the microwave ovens, because we can't wait the 30 minutes. We need microwave TV dinners in 3 minutes. And I think there's this basic assumption that Hans was getting at was the extra time is going to be used for something like books, education, leisure. And that's not really what's going on all the time, right? And this idea of the change in commerce, right? We talk about, here's a graph from like 1972 to 1980, right? Second on the list, the second most reduction in jobs was the cleaners and servants industry, right? And that comes from things like the washing machines and the vacuum cleaners. And we wonder, this is not in the conversation now when we talk about jobs loss, right? And the industrial robot arm is taking away the jobs of the Ford plants, but we've had this in the history where the washing machine and the vacuum cleaner was also taking away service jobs, but they transform and they morph. So here's a nice clip that I like. The fears and concerns about job loss from technology are not new. They began during the early days of the Industrial Revolution in England as men began to be replaced by machines. And I think this is a really suiting quote for today's time, but at the same time, this was written in 1984. So 30 years later, we're still talking about the same thing, that this is not a new topic. We've been discussing this before. And again, from David Culler in 1984, 1985, there was this clip in his paper about the future in automation. So this was 30 years ago, so he's projecting 20 years later, right? There should be a $20,000 robot serving food in 72 seconds. There's going to be these supermarkets that have highly sophisticated machine control and all this stuff. Maybe it's a little small, but he goes through and lists the automation that's going to destroy the jobs. And one of the examples in the financial services is an automatic teller machine. It's going to completely destroy the banking industry. And as it turned out, over time, we had more bank tellers, not less. So the ATM, although it was completely automated, we could do fast transactions, many transactions, the fear wasn't really validated, right? And there's a bunch of interesting things. There's the home personal computer is going to destroy education service. John Giro, we're talking about MOOCs. This goes all the way back. And so there's this continual idea. And from my perspective, the reality is that not only does technology create jobs, which offsets the job loss from the free time that we gain, but the automation is increasing our ability to be creative and to think of new products and new ideas, be able to create new sectors that wouldn't have existed if we didn't have that time to do it in the first place. So I guess it comes back, why is this related to design, and why did I start getting into this? Because I don't really care about economics that much. I think if it's a possible future, design plays a role on how we can integrate these ideas into our life. And on the other side, design can show that this is a possibility through the development of integrated systems. So as a designer or architect, if we're able to show we can have robotic systems that are integrated, if we all had a robot, what could we do and how could we change the life that we have, right? And this universal aspect is two-sided, right? It's a universal in terms of accessibility. So with my disabilities research and accessibility, it's about having an equal right to work for people. So it's an empowering people in general, and not just saying that everyone has a basic income, whether you can work or not, but it's saying if right now your ability, physical ability, is preventing you from contributing to the society, even if you want to, then by giving you a robot, you're able to contribute the same way that anyone else can. But it's also freedom to access the labor market if you want or not. And it's the ability of the robot in a universal sense, that the robot can act as more than one gadget. It doesn't have to be a separate washing machine, a separate oven, and separate things. We can start looking at design and integrated systems where these robots can take on more than one role. So these are some ideas of what I think the modes of implementation would be. Because essentially, if each person's given a robot, it's kind of a theoretical robot, it's kind of like an avatar for them. So in the case of the Ford motor plant, instead of the person being replaced by the robot, they're just giving their robot in place of themselves. So that should go to that theoretical more time that they can decide to spend whatever they want. On business side, it should be good for the business because they don't have to start investing in robotics, right? You have the people themselves have the efficient tools. So the only reason Ford will really want to have robotics is because they want to do more production faster without having injuries of people, right? You eliminate all these problems. And a lot of the work I'm doing in the construction robotics and the automation is because of construction industry having the highest injury rate out of any industry. So it's quite important for people to not be getting hurt all the time and having these kind of problems. And if we can find a solution where people are empowered and at the same time the businesses are benefiting from it, I think it's some kind of good solution. And there's all these kind of ways that you can go. You can still be free to not work, or you can use your robot in one aspect and you apply to more creative adventures or whatever kind of other services you want to perform as a contributor to the society in itself, right? And in general, you could also have the household items. So you, instead of the house caretaker or the child, whatever, and all the washing machines, all these kind of things, the robot just does that, and then you can go out into the world. And the last one is this idea of just the robot ends up becoming a commodity. I think this goes down another path where you talk about kind of inflation, and everyone has the robot, so now is that the standard of living? And really, what is the goal of the universal income? Because if everyone has a basic income, then everyone costs more. So I'm not sure where we would go from that. Like I said, I'm not economics, so I'm only really just interested in this kind of concept. And the reason I want to thank Jihan was for letting me talk about my idea. Hopefully get some feedback from you. Be nice, because I'm not economics, major. So I'll end with that. Thank you.
We had part of this discussion a little earlier, but history doesn't bear out what you're claiming. So the question is, what's different? The history shows that as we automate, a number of things happen. You don't get more time. What you get is less investment in the person. Because we, the consumers of all these things that are designed, always go for the minimum. Right? I don't know how many people, when they buy paper for their printer, assuming you print, go and look for the best quality paper. Now you buy the cheapest, and whether it comes from China or Korea doesn't matter. The evidence is that we do automate jobs out of existence. There's lots of jobs that have disappeared that are no longer there. There used to be a person called a computer. That's where the name came from. Before machines, there were millions of them sitting in back rooms. They don't exist anymore. So my question is, what gives you what's the magic source here that might change that?
I think the difference is kind of where Hans was starting from, where you have these people that are still using wood fires, and you have the people that have the airplanes, right? So there's this big gap that's going on. And I think the income gap is where the universal basic income was starting from. It's trying to get people from that poverty line to a level in society that is more equal to what the higher level earners are getting, or at least what they feel at this time is human rights. Whether it's being able to access showers every day, or it's being able to have more leisure time by a certain percentage. And Andre and I were also discussing this. I think that modifies. The main difference is, I acknowledge, like the household cleaners, right? There used to be, the first vacuum was a massive machine, and it was someone's job to come in with a huge blower and turbine, and they would suck things out, right? And then we had electricity, and then we connected the electric one, and we've gotten smaller, now we have Roomba that goes around and cleans it all for you. So the amount of house cleaners in this kind of service industry is gone. We also created new industries and new computer vision industries, algorithm industries. But the banks also have their financial markets completely changed because the way that computers work, now we have high frequency trading, we have a whole other sector of jobs in there. I think the difference with this is by starting with a foundation that people have the tools as a basic right to be able to upgrade. So the government is providing, the idea of the income is the government providing. So this would be the same, the government providing the robot to each person, and by providing that basic level of equal ability to automate, then society works above, above that, beyond that, right? Okay. Down the future, I don't know. That's first level.
I thought individual basic income is about taxes. So have you ever thought about tax issue related to the
Yeah, so the Finland has, 50, 60% tax on your income, so it's easier when you have $1 million earners getting 60% income and $200,000 earners getting 60% taxed on their income to support this kind of basic income for everyone. The same idea, what I think applied to the robots, my kind of main thought and point would be that there's not much added value to just giving cash to people as opposed to giving them the tools to enable them. And if it comes to the fact that I get a commodity like a robot and I want to take half of what I could earn at Ford and give it to someone else and they'll just kind of loan it from me, right? I think the tax is still going to be there and it still has to be a situation, but it's the difference in how the tax is being applied and how the society or the government is giving back to people as an equal, fair playing field.